Alright, hello everybody. This is the second video with regard to fabbing up the compressor bracket. So I wanted to give you a look at sort of a work in process. So I've carved out the general shape out of the block of billet for the AC compressor bracket, and it looks pretty good. We'll take a closer look at it in a minute, but if you recall, this is the prototype bracket that I built, and I fitted this to the car or to the mounting location with the compressor, and it really worked pretty well. You can see it's a pretty complicated shape. I mean, it's multi-level, and this is what I have to fab up out of billet. Now, I don't really have many sophisticated pieces of equipment here, but I'll show you essentially how I went about doing this. So I had the block of billet, and then basically I drilled a hole where every tight bend would be, and I traced this out on the block, and then I used this 10-inch bandsaw, and the bandsaw is really not made for this, but I treat it more like a scroll saw. So I put this guide all the way up, and it's a pretty thin blade and it moves around a bit, so I literally just sort of hold it in my hand and guide it as best I can, going back and forth to get it around the corner. And then once I have the part cut, and you can see sort of the texture here, it's not a bad cut, but it's certainly not not a finished cut like a CNC machine. And then I brought it over to this belt sander that I just hold upside down in the vise, and the back portion like this here I smooth down very quickly, but then smoothing the inside down, I simply use these drum or sanding drums. I use 80 grit on them, and then to make it look like a brush finish, I'll use 120 or 250. But anyway, if we take a closer look at this part, I mean, the finish is pretty darn good. I mean, it looks like a nice brush piece, and that's with 80 grit. Then I'll hit it with with the 150 or the 220. At this point now, I have it on the mill, and I'm looking to basically machine down these areas that need to be recessed. You can see I use the blue die and I use the scribe, and that's where I'm machining it to. And then you can see on top, there's a little line there, a little squiggly line. So this is a mill. It's a two-dimensional mill. It really doesn't cut corners well, but I'll use a larger mill. I'll hollow that area out, and then I'll use a sand drum, and I'll make it look good. I have another section over here which is a little more complicated, but I'll probably mill a straight line here, straight line this way, and then use a drum roller in there. And once I'm done, I'll show you the bracket completed with also there's a little sister bracket that I have to fab up, but thought you'd appreciate a little bit of work in process video. Okay, take care. Bye.